In my time at Jump Academy, I've heard many things said about jumping that have turned out to be wrong. In an attempt to help you avoid the same pitfalls I did, I'd like to share a list of misinformation and corrections. Knowing some of these things can help you be more confident that you're jumping correctly and allow you to talk with other jumpers without causing confusion or controversy. Having a knowledge of some of the common misconceptions will help you teach others too. First things first, holding W does not slow you down. Yes, you should avoid holding W with some rare exceptions during jumping, but this isn't because it slows you down. The way strafing works, it cares about the direction you're moving and the direction your WASD keys are pointing. If you turn to face elsewhere, the direction your keys point changes, so you can think of aim as a part of that as well. By holding W, you make it so you need to turn your aim further before you start strafing, and it requires more turning before you're done strafing. It also means that if you want to switch to turning the other way, you need to do a big adjustment in aim before you even start to strafe. So still don't hold W, but no, it doesn't affect your speed mid-air if you're just facing forwards. This leads us right into our next myth. You should never hold W when jumping. There are plenty of cases where holding W is extremely useful when jumping. Here's a few. Straight up and down wall climbs, wall pogos, corner pogos, catching yourself from pogoing backwards, tiny mid-air adjustments to keep yourself in place during a sink, buffering a walk after you land, and walking into a rocket jump. If you want my advice, don't unbind W. Just ask yourself after every jump whether you were using it and whether you should have. Next up, this is a triple sink, not a double. Doubles are when you use 2 rockets total in your sink. Triples 3, quints 5. Some people will call sinks by the number of pre-fired rockets instead of the total rockets, but in doing so they're breaking from the convention all experienced jumpers expect to hear. Calling 3 rocket sinks doubles is something that I've only heard from either newer players or old sources, like ancient maps or forums. One pitfall that gets to everyone at some point is that a jump map will be different for everyone. Just because a map, a course, or a jump was easy or hard for most people, that doesn't mean it'll be the same for you. Sure, nobody's going to be gallivanting on the hardest maps without being able to beat all the easy ones, but if you find yourself struggling with a jump that, quote, should be easy for you, try to reframe that thought. A lot of the time, you need to do something that's contrary to the muscle memory you've built up, and it'll require you to relearn what you've already developed a skill for. Encountering something like this is a good opportunity to address a weak point, and if you're approaching it with a good mentality, can be more rewarding than doing a jump that others consider harder, but doesn't push you to improve as much. I'm just not good. So many times I hear people suggesting that they lack talent and won't be able to learn how to do a particular technique. In teaching dozens, maybe hundreds of people, I've never seen anyone who was incapable of learning. Perhaps the closest I've came was people who weren't interested in someone teaching them or unable to respond to advice due to a language barrier, but that hardly equates to lack of talent or potential. If you're finding yourself saying these sorts of things, I highly suggest you try to think more positively. There is absolutely no reason that you can't improve. And when you're not performing up to your standards, beating yourself up over that only makes it harder and less fun to keep going. Thanks for tuning in to this first list of jumping myths. If you want more, please let me know. Thanks for watching and have a great day.